What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? I'm your host, Trey, and welcome back to the Bat Channel, your main hub for all things Batman. I have a special giveaway for you guys. All you have to do is share this video and tweet my account, my personal account, at Trey Austin Music, or if you're on Facebook, just tag the Bat Channel. We'll put all those in the description below. If you guys share it and tag me, I'll randomly pick one of you to receive this really cool poster from Victor Koo, who was personally chosen from Zack Snyder himself for the winner of the Fan Justice League poster. Here it is right here. This video right now doesn't do it quite justice, but it has that metallic look to it. It's so cool. I have one myself. I even have the really big one in my room. This could be yours. All you have to do is share the video. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
As you may recall from our last show, we talked about changing our format and splitting our segments into their own individual episodes. Now, let's get started with the comic segment. After a week break, James Tynion's Joker War Part 2 returns with Batman issue 96. The cover art and their artwork throughout the book is still done by Jorge Jimenez and Tomei Moret. But let's go back in issue 95 to get us back to where we are in issue 96. In issue 95, we last saw Batman poisoned by Joker's new fear toxin that was designed by Punchline, and the Dark Knight starts to hear the voice from the past, his late faithful butler Alfred. Batman tries to escape before being cornered and fired upon by this Joker, painted bat jet. Really, really cool.
Get those wonderful toys.
And that's where it leaves us. Now in issue 96, it starts off in a distant future Gotham City. But it's not the city that we're used to as Batman fans. It's beautiful, it's clean, it's bright, it's peaceful. It's kind of like a metropolis, but even grander. So Freeze is on the run with his children, and his children actually have like a really cool, funny name. One of them is Snow Cone, and the other is Ice Pop. It's kind of like a very silly Silver Age-esque, Batman scene. But Batman, he's wearing that cool new cowl and suit that we saw from issue 95. Batman is chasing the Ice family down on his really cool bat bike, and you hear him talking to someone who's kind of, assisting him, kind of like Alfred did, but we don't know who it is yet. It kind of makes you wonder, is there a new butler in Batman's life? After Batman takes down Freeze's family, he returns to the Batcave where, to our surprise, there's Alfred. What? It's this crazy moment, and it's like the first kind of I think I know what's going on here. The picture is starting to be painted. Batman's smiling a lot, which we know Batman doesn't really smile, right? It's very rare. That's why when Batman smiles, it's pretty big. So to have Alfred there, who's already dead, and Batman smiling, kind of could tell something's unusual, something's off. We kind of learned a little bit more about this futuristic world where Alfred says it's the first time the Caped Crusader was needed all month, that's crazy. I mean, literally, Batman's like out and about every night at Gotham City trying to stop crimes. So for him to only be out once a month kind of gives you an idea of what Gotham is like now. Batman has finally built his little Gotham utopia that Alfred wanted him to build since he was a kid. As the picture starts to get painted and Bruce is leaving the Batcave with Alfred, and they're talking about all the wonderful things that are going on in Bruce's world, I guess you could say, Alfred says kind of this line like, I bet this sounds sweet to you, these words across your lips. And Bruce turns around and sees Alfred snap his neck. And basically he's talking, and it starts to get dark, and it's, Alfred saying, like, you don't get a happy ending. You're going to be alone. You're going to have no family, no love, and the city is going to fall and belong to him. And he starts laughing and getting this really Jokerized grin. And as Batman starts to scream in horror, he wakes up, and he's in present-day Gotham. This hallucination probably from that Joker fear toxin. But he wakes up to Harley Quinn in the room, who has been kind of aiding him. I guess she rescued him from that Jokerized bat attack, that bat jet. But he learns from Harley that he's been out for 3 days, and Gotham City is filled with chaos under Joker's rule. He's been using Bruce Wayne's wealth that he stole to pay and arm gangs with Joker mobiles and Joker cycles and Joker planes. He has purchased Ace Chemicals in plans to create more of that Joker fear toxin that Punchline made. The underbroker has control over the lawyers at City Hall, preventing the government and the cops from taking any legal action or enforcing the laws, which, it's kind of crazy. I mean, that sounds familiar, right? Like, we're starting to see that in our own society. It's kind of weird that this comic kind of reflects that in a few pages. But Punchline and her gang, while that's going on, have made their base at one of Wayne Enterprises' building. So you can kind of see Joker's like really taking everything over. Batman's going to have a lot to do to take it back. But one of the really cool things, guys, super cool, about this comic is as we witness all the lawlessness and anarchy, we get our first glimpse from this new character called the Clown Hunter. And he's really cool. He is like a Gothamized version of Negan from The Walking Dead. He's, has no mercy towards, the oppressive Joker gang. He wields this bat with a batarang in it, and he's just not afraid to be brutal and just crack heads with it. Such a cool character that I'm sure we'll see more of. We only get one little page of him, but my guess is this is just batting practice for Clown Hunter.
I do believe Lucille's getting a little jealous.
Batman is still under the effects of the Joker toxin. He's very volatile, and Harley is honestly, she's fearful of Joker's plan. She believes he's prepping for the end game. She tells Batman that Joker has paid for all of this advertising space in Gotham. So this one ad just plays on repeat and repeat and repeat. So she shows Batman this ad, and it's very, very similar to that scene from the Dark Knight film with Christopher Nolan and Joker, where he just does the handheld camera, and he's like just terrorizing this, the Batman imposter. But he has, if you guys remember from issue 95, where he has the original Monarch Theater owner reading off these cards promoting the Mark of Zorro Gotham cut. I almost wonder if that's kind of like a little joke towards the Snyder cut. And he's talking about the story of a man reborn as a hero and created a symbol that the world would all know. But he also talks about how only 3 people saw the ending last time, and it changed the course of history, the city's history. But what happens when everybody sees the real ending? Because obviously we know who he's talking about, the changed the course of history with the 3 people that saw the ending, which is Bruce's parents and him, right? But they do some really cool references in this one. Joker says basically that it's sold out screenings of Mark of Zorro in Monarch Theater. He lets kind of Batman know where he's at. But he says he's purchased that film to be played at all the Gotham theaters like we expected from issue 95. And he also says, this is kind of cool, this is kind of a Batman 1989 reference of Jack Nicholson, Joker, that he's going to pay $10,000 to every person that goes see the Mark of Zorro at one of these theater locations opening night.
Me? I'm giving away free money. And where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights. And now comes the part where I relieve you, the little people, of the burden of your failed and useless lives. But as my plastic surgeon always said, if you gotta go, go with a smile.
And of course, being the Joker, as the guy gets down to the reading card, he sees at the end, prepare for the final shot, and boom, shoots the guy. Like, such a Joker move. Like, that's brilliant, Ryan. Good job, James. When Batman hears Monarch Theater, it triggers a dark hallucination of that tragic, fateful night that created Batman. But it has a twist. Literally.
Very poor choice of words.
Bruce's parents break their necks like Alfred and begin to laugh as Batman begins to lose it and hear Alfred's voice. Yet again, like in the last issue, Harley Quinn attempts to tranquilize Batman and stabilize him. But B-Man, of course, is able to escape, and you can tell he's having a psychotic breakdown. He's constantly hearing Alfred as kind of like he did in the past, where Alfred's like giving him advice, making sure he's okay. It's really kind of like Batman's consciousness, I guess you could say. However, the good news is Batman's still very aware that Alfred is dead. It's not like he believes he's alive again. He has to deal with it later. He has to take out the Joker. He has to stop him. So, Batman returns to the Monarch Theater. But it looks as it did on that night as a kid. But we're not sure if Joker spent the money to have it repaired and looking like that night, or if it's just the toxin manipulating Batman's mind. But Joker's ultimate plan is starting to get underneath Batman's skin. But Batman is determined to outlast the Joker and return the favor. As Batman enters the theater, that unbearable smell erodes. The theater is filled with corpses of Joker's victims, some from many years ago. Very creepy. Very creepy. But apparently Joker paid his thugs to dig up the bodies as a reminder to Batman of all of the people he failed to save. And quite frankly, Gotham City is next, according to Joker's plans. The comic ends with Joker putting the designer's tech to use and rising all the people from the dead. So, needless to say, issue 96, very intense, kind of horrific in some cases, very, very, very dark in areas. I think it's just going to lead right into a very insane issue 97. I think it's really about to get intense there. But the Joker War will continue next week with part 3 with the title Blind as a Bat. Curious to see where they go with that. Maybe some surprising, shocking news is going to hit us. But speaking of shocking news, if you haven't heard, it is reported that Warner Media has dropped a bombshell on its employees with laying off over a third of its staff in DC Comics, including editor-in-chief Bob Harras, Senior VP of Publishing Strategy and Support Services Hank Kennels, VP of Marketing and Creative Services John Wieland, VP Global Publishing Initiatives and Digital Strategy Bobby Chase, and Senior Story Editor Brian Cunningham, and Executive Editor Mark Doyle, just to name a few of the top-ranking members of DC. Reportedly, DC's editorial staff was also let go, with the majority of DC's streaming service, like the DC Universe, which we kind of expected that one with HBO Max starting to take over. But I've also read an article recently that said DC Universe is going to be expanding itself, so I'm not sure where that's going to go. But they also have completely disbanded DC Direct, which is the company's internal collectible and merchandise manufacturing division. Rough. Really rough. Jim Lee, though, we all know who Jim Lee is. He's like one of the goats of, his comic book arts, especially with Batman. He is apparently still expected to stay on as Chief Creative Officer and is looking to possibly be groomed for a much higher position. The really unfortunate part is this news literally came just less than 2 weeks before DC Fandom event, August 22nd. I'm very surprised. I'm not sure how this will impact DC, but my heart goes out to all those workers who have just, another thing to deal with in this stressful year. But I'm wishing you guys the best and a speedy turnaround time, and hopefully you're on to the next big thing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Batman's Joker War is only going to get better. James Tynion is actually going to be at DC Fandom, so definitely watch that, guys. He's probably going to give us some more insight on where the Joker War is going. If you need comics, I have a guy, Hall of Justice Comics Collectibles with John. He does a really cool show Mondays and Thursdays from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. live stream where you can get comics right on his Facebook page. We'll put that in the description below so you guys can check it out, and give a shout out to the Bat Channel. I'm usually on. I'll say hello to you guys. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your fellow Bat family. I'm your host, Trey, and don't forget to tune in next week. Same Bat time, same Bat Channel.